Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the channel. This is Red Prep and I'm building up to Manchester United taking on Tottenham at Old Trafford on Sunday. Tottenham are at fifth position in the Premier League. They are on 39 points, 8 clear of Manchester United, who are in 8th position. Tottenham have only lost one match in their last five fixtures in the Premier League, while Manchester United have only won one of their fixture in the last five Premier League matches. Under Ange Postecoglou, Tottenham have been in exhilarating form in terms of their goal scoring. Obviously, they've had a plethora of injuries that has hampered them in spells, but they have scored 42 goals, which is almost twice of Manchester United paltry total of 22. Both the teams have progressed to the fourth round of the FA Cup by their respective victories in the FA Cup. And both the teams have some crucial players missing, especially down to AFCON and the Asia Cup, as well as injuries. But Tottenham, unlike United, have been busy in the January transfer market. They've already signed Timo Werner and Dragusin, who's a centre back from Genoa in Italy, while Manchester United have just let Jadon Sancho go on loan to Borussia Dortmund till the end of the season. Also, the likes of Hannibal Mabry, Anthony Martial, and Facundo Pellistri are likely to leave Old Trafford either on loans or full sale. While Tottenham, according to rumours, are also looking for another midfielder. For Tottenham, Papisar has gone for AFCON. Yves Bissouma is injured, and even if he was not injured, he would have gone for the AFCON as well. Captain Son also gone for the Asia Cup. This could be a tricky fixture for both the teams, owing to the personnel who will be missing in action on Sunday. Coming to head, United have had an upper hand against Tottenham Hotspurs, especially at Old Trafford. Spurs' last victory came against Ole's team in 2020. That was a 6-1 victory. Obviously, United started off well with the Bruno Fernandes penalty in this match. But owing to Martial's red card and some horrendous defending from the likes of Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw, who are still at the club, United went down 6-1. Since the United have won all their matches at Old Trafford, the last fixture and the first one against Ange and Eric Ten Hag and their rivalry was a 2-0 convincing victory for Tottenham Hotspur. They were starting off the campaign, under certain doubts, but against Manchester United, the likes of Bissouma, Son, Madison really ran through the midfield for Manchester United, and that was one of the fixtures where you could see that the new 3-1-6 formation and the likes of Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes playing really high in a hybrid role of 10 or 8 was never going to work for Manchester United. The last fixture for Manchester United at home in Premier League was a 3-2 victory against Aston Villa, and this match will follow a similar pattern as Tottenham also play with a suicidal high line, defensive high line. For Tottenham, they lost 4-2 to Brighton in the last away fixture in the Premier League, and that could have been a 6-7 goal loss for them. So, in a strange way, the way Tottenham Hotspur play, especially without their first choice personnel, United might end up liking the defensive high line of Tottenham Hotspur. This might fall in the hands of Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes and Rashford playing on the counter attack and spamming that through ball like they did against Aston Villa. Tottenham Hotspur under Ange have been playing very enterprising, attractive brand of football. The fullback invert, the likes of Udogi and Pedro Porro have been revelatory in their role as inverted fullbacks. They've scored a lot of goals. Pedro Porro having scored a stunner in their FA Cup victory against Burnley. So to begin with, they had the likes of Madison playing in number 10 position, and Son and Kulusevski playing high and wide using their pace. And since Son won't be there in this match, and Madison has been a long-term absentee, the likes of Lo Celso and Richarlison have come in. They've contributed well. Even in the last match, I thought Lo Celso played really well. So they'll be a threat. It's down to the philosophy. No matter who the personnel are who are playing, even though there is a drop in terms of quality, but the overall philosophy and overall commitment to the cause is certainly nothing like what we've seen under Eric Ten Hag, even in his short spell at Spurs. And we can see what the overall aim is, what the overall vision from the coach and manager is. In terms of the danger man, obviously top scorer Son with 12 goals, who won't be there. He is in Qatar for the Asia Cup. Richarlison has come in, has also scored a few goals, 6 to be exact, in the Premier League. Kulusevski have scored 5 goals, so they have really a bunch of players who have chipped in with important goals. In terms of assists, Brennan Johnson has 4. Obviously, the main creative spark, Madison, has been injured for last few months. But the likes of Pedro Porro from the wings, Udogi have contributed well. Lo Celso has come in and has looked bright, to be honest. And he is a ingenious little player. And Tottenham Hotspur will be hoping that the likes of Lo Celso and Pedro Porro and Udogi can provide the final balls into the box for the likes of Kulusevski and Richarlison to get on the end of. In midfield, obviously, they are missing the partnership of Papesar as well as Yves Bissouma. Obviously, Højbjerg is still there. Oliver Skip and Bentancur has come in recently after injury layoff. I think they might start with all three of them. In defense, Van de Ven was on the bench for the FA Cup fixture. I think he'll slot back into the back line since Davies is also injured. Obviously, Romero is a long-term injury as well. They have the first choice fullbacks in both Porro and Udogi, and they are crucial to the way they play. But the outstanding player for them, and I think also a shout for the player of the season so far has been Vicario in goal. He's come from the Italian Serie A and has really lit up the Premier League. Both his shot stopping and his distribution from behind has been exceptional. I think he's been the most consistent goalkeeper in all facets of his craft. I think he has done exceptionally well in terms of replacing the former captain Hugo Lloris. I think he has contributed a lot in terms of the confidence to play out from the back, especially because they have been playing with the likes of Emerson and Davies as centre backs. Both of them are naturally fullbacks. The confidence they get from the keeper has helped them both, and overall theme and structure of the team. And certainly United, if they continue to press in isolation and keep on employing that fractured pressing system with players like Rashford who really don't want to press, then Tottenham Hotspur can really play through the initial press and find gaps in midfield, which have been astonishing in this season. Have cracks at goal against Andrew Onana, who hasn't gone for the AFCON and is always vulnerable from a shot, even from distance. So if they get the first goal in this match, Spurs can really run away with it, and the floodgates could open. And this would be the first real test for Ten Hag after the announcement of Ineos and Jim Glazer 25% stake in Manchester United. It'll be interesting if it goes all right. What kind of headlines await Eric Ten Hag on Monday? There have been some rumors of Graham Potter being lined up as the next manager, and United don't play for next 2 weeks until their weekend fixtures in the FA Cup. I think on 28th. And in Premier League, they don't play till February. So if United cannot get any kind of result from this match, this could be curtains for Eric Ten Hag. Let's move to the tactical board and break down the prospective lineup and expected formations for both the teams.
For Manchester United, it'll be 4-2-3-1. Obviously, Onana is not going, so he'll be in goal. Evans and Varane should start. There is a chance that Maguire might be fit, but I don't think he should come straight into the team. Varane and Evans have been doing a decent job. I think Shaw might come in if he's fit enough, because there is not another match for another 2 weeks. So I think there won't be much risk. But if he's not fit enough to last the 90 minutes, I think Dalot would play on that left flank, and Van Bissaka can easily slot in into the right back position. Obviously, I'd like Ahmad to start, but I don't think Ten Hag would drop Garnacho. So he'll play on the right flank. Rashford will stick to the left flank. Obviously, with Bruno Rashford, Garnacho, and Højlund, there is a chance and potential for counter attacks and to get goals while running behind the high back line of Spurs. So I'd play Eriksen and Mainu. Obviously, Eriksen, there is a chance that United might be overrun in midfield, but United is the home team, so I think the onus is on them to, try and find passes and break through Tottenham's defenses, especially when they're playing on the halfway line. If Eriksen doesn't start, probably McTominay would slot in and rot the place out. He's a non-footballer if I've ever seen one, and the fact that he keeps playing under different kinds of manager, be it Jose Mourinho, Ole Ranick, and now Eric Ten Hag. It's just a travesty and it's a conundrum. It's a conundrum even bigger than Bermuda's Triangle. How can these managers and football experts keep picking McTominay, even though he can't pass to save his life? I think this would be the lineup for Manchester United. Coming to Tottenham Hotspur, obviously Richarlison would play in the number 9 position because Son isn't there. Johnson and Kulusevski, I think, would provide a lot of pace and ingenuity and creativity on the flanks. Lo Celso had come in recently and done decently, uh, especially in that hole behind the three forwards. Bentancur is really tidy on the ball, really good in terms of building from back and keeping possession and keeping the tempo of the match. Skip has also done decently. Whenever I've seen him, even though he's not somebody who jumps out at you when you're watching him, but he's a decent enough player just to take the ball along. In the system, you have these players with limited technical abilities, but they when they are given clear instructions, they can go and deliver them out on the pitch. And I think Skip is someone who can do that. Hoiberg, I think, would slot in the deep lying playmaker role. Obviously, against United, their potential for counter attack. So Hoiberg would be an important figure, especially for his experience and his ability to screen the back four. Poro, obviously, Poro and Odigi are exceptional. They're probably the best combination of fullbacks right now in the Premier League. And with how Ange like to play on the front foot, with high pressing systems and with midfielder joining it with the forward players in high advanced areas, with wingers staying extremely wide, so providing spaces for midfielders to run into and occupy spaces in the small pockets. Poro and Odigi are exceptional in inverting and joining that midfield and bringing more numbers into it. Obviously this helps in pressing and really doesn't allow any player on the opposition side to get enough time on the ball to look for the long ball. Obviously Højlund is the one who will sit, and Emerson and Van der Ven got plenty of pace to keep the pressing system intact. Obviously you can see this country and ocean of space behind the back line. Vicario, even though he's good at sweeping, he might come, at the edge of the box, but still there is this ocean of space. And with the likes of Rashford and Garnacho, who would be, trying to get behind these fullbacks naturally, and especially Emerson against Rashford could be a tussle that United can get a lot of joy out of. Fernandez is good for only one thing, which is to spam these through ball behind their defenses, be it to the wing or between the center backs and the fullbacks. But the crucial thing in this match, I think, will be the first goal, and it's really important that United don't concede the goal. Rather, they show solidity in their defense and don't give easy chances and shots to Tottenham. And eventually, when Tottenham's defensive line is lulled into a false sense of comfort and complacency, maybe play a combination football between the likes of fullback, especially Dalo, who's really good in terms of building from behind, even though defensively he's suspect, and find Fernandez so that he can unlock the pace of Garnacho, Rashford, and even Højlund. I think it's really important that Højlund gets back on the scoring sheet because he was abysmal against Wigan Athletic. I think it's very important that after his first goal in the Premier League against Aston Villa, he gets on a run now and gets a streak of goals. And it will be difficult for Manchester United to get any kind of goal threat up front since Marshall is also likely to leave in the January transfer window.
Honestly, what Spurs have gotten in Ange is what Manchester United, most of the Manchester United fan expected from Eric Ten Hag. The kind of non-compromising philosophy in terms of attacking football, enterprising possession-based system of play. This is what Eric Ten Hag kind of promised. That was the Ten Hag delusion that we suffered from, and it has been smarting, it has been painful and agonizing to see it turn out to be a nightmare. Tottenham, with the likes of Timo Werner and Dagusin, have already shown that they are serious about their crack at top four, and maybe if they get few results under their belt, they could still challenge for that that championship. United are obviously nowhere near the top four. They're 14 points behind Liverpool. It has been an atrocious campaign for Erik ten Hag. The most concerning stat for Manchester United is that the goal difference is still -5, and we are in January. They've only scored 22 goals, which is almost half of what Tottenham have gotten. And to be honest, we scored 58 goals in the Premier League last season, and at this rate, I'd be surprised if we are able to get anywhere near even that total. It is clear indictment of the way things have regressed under Erik ten Hag. A lack of clarity in terms of vision and the lack of consistency or application of a principle that Erik ten Hag has been so vehemently espousing. He hasn't delivered on those. He hasn't stuck to his gun. He hasn't been consistent in both the prescription of principle as well as application of those. With Sancho going already, and the likes of Mabry and Pellistri, who haven't gotten a fair crack at Manchester United this season. Yeah, I won't be surprised if we see further exits in form of Sofian Amrabat. Reguilon has also gone after his loan was curtailed early. Erik ten Hag seems to be a man lost in terms of ideas, and he's also somebody that has been exposed in terms of being out of his depth at this great club. At IS, of course, they had footballing structure behind him in terms of Overmars, in terms of Edwin van der Sar. But I think the most surprising revelation has been the fact that that system, as much as it was to support Erik ten Hag, it was also an oversight over his whims and his dictatorial running of the club. In at United, he has been given free rein. He has been given, absolute veto over everything in terms of transfer, in terms of decision over player contracts, player selection, and even the selection of captains. And it has turned out to be a complete disaster. Having said that, on Sunday, the first goal will be crucial because if United are able to get that goal, they can play on counter attack against Tottenham Hotspur because they play with the suicidal high line. They leave a lot of gaps behind, and the likes of Emerson, Pedro Porro, even Udogi are not the best of defenders, especially one on one, and especially running back to their own goal. So if United can spam the through ball and time their runs and escape that offside trap like they did against Aston Villa, especially in the second half, then United can get some joy on the flanks with the likes of Garnacho and Marcus Rashford. So it won't be surprising to me that United end up winning or at least getting a point from this match. But if Ange and Spurs can get the first goal and then control the tempo of the match, then it could be curtains for Erik ten Hag and Manchester United. Inshallah, we'll be back with the red dissection episode. Inshallah, it's a victory for Manchester United. I think if we don't get 3 points against Tottenham, then even though it's premature, but I think our race for top four is finished. It is absolutely pivotal that we get 3 points in this match. So please join us for the red dissection episode for the breakdown of Manchester United versus Tottenham match. So until we meet again, take care, do good, pray for Palestinians, all the oppressed people. Assalamu alaikum.